Hey kiddos, all right, we're gonna go ahead and look at lesson 11.2. I need you to go ahead and get out 2 pages for me, pages 599 and page 601. If you need to go ahead and pause that and do that now, that would be great. I'm gonna go ahead and continue. Our last lesson on Monday was how to read line plots, and today we're gonna work on making and completing line plots. So again, this is going to be page 599 that we're looking at, okay? You're going to see a lot of data. They're going to give the data to you in a green box, and then you're going to need to plot those on the line plot. So I just recommend going one at a time and looking at the data, plotting it, crossing it off. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a look. We've got red is the color. The length is 6 1/4 of an inch. So we've got to come down here, find 6 1/4, and just make one small dot. Nothing too big, but you do want to be able to see it. Down here, 5 1/4 inch. Go find your 5 1/4 inch. Again, just about the same height up, same size. Plot and cross. 6 3/4. Find it, go up above it, plot it, and cross it out. 5 3/4. Find it, plot it, and cross it out. This helps you to keep track of where you're at, okay? And then stopping and finding each data point, okay? So here we're gonna be making our second one, so we just wanna go a little bit above it, plot it, and cross it out. And we've got 6 2/4. Okay? Easy enough. That's really what your lesson's going to be. Then you'll have some questions below your line plots that you create that you'll have to answer. Like number 4, we'll take a look. We've got the data in the table to complete the line plot. This is bracelet lengths. All of these are bracelet lengths, and they have it in inches down here. So again, I just start with the top one. We've got 8 inches. I'm gonna plot it and then cross it off is really what I should do. 6 1/2. Plot it, cross it. 7 1/2, plot it, cross it. If I get ahead of you, just pause. You can do this on your own. I know you guys can. 6 1/2, plot it. Some of these we're seeing, this is about the second one. It's really good to try to keep them level, but I know that's not super easy. So if you struggle, I'll show you a trick in just a minute. Got 8 again. This is our third for 8. 6 1/2. This is our third for 6 1/2. Popular length, 7 1/2. And then 8 once more. So what might be helpful is after you've done that is to go and say, okay, there's 3 bracelets, and you can just write a small number above it. 3 bracelets measuring 6 1/2. 2 bracelets measuring 7 1/2, 4 measuring 8, and 1 measuring 8 1/2. Because then it's going to ask us, what's the length of the longest bracelet? Now this has nothing to do with how common they are. This is the actual length. So when you look here, your longest length is going to be 9 inches. Well, there aren't any bracelets that are 9 inches. There are some bracelets that are 8 1/2. So the length of the longest bracelet, you would say, is 8 1/2 inches. You can just write a comma because then it asks us what is the shortest length. Again, the shortest length that we see here is 6, but there are no bracelets that measure 6 inches. There are 3 that measure 6 1/2. That is going to be your shortest length. Okay, flipping it over on the back. We're just going to look at a few of these. Okay, number 6 is asking you to define the outlier. Give an example using the line plot below. When you look at this line plot, what is the number that is very different than the rest of them? That would be right here at 60. I have to look. That's 65, so we've got 66, 67. So it's 67. And define the outlier, that's going to be the number that is very different from the rest. Let's practice one more before I give you guys your lesson. Looking down here at the bottom with number 10. Brianna is making bracelets for her friends and her family members. The bracelets have the following lengths and inches. We've got 6, 6 3/4, 6 1/4, 5 3/4, 5, 6, 6 2/4, 6 1/4, 6, 5 3/4. Use the data to complete the line plot and draw the dots and write the scale values. So what I like to do when you're doing this, you're gonna have a few of these on your assignment, is I like to identify the shortest length and the longest length, and that's gonna help you know where to start at your start labeling down here with the inches. And your smallest is your 5. Okay, it looks like we go up in increments of 1/4. So if we start here with 5, our next one would be 5 1/4, 5 2/4, 5 3/4. Let's look at what does our greatest one need to be. We need to make sure we're going to be able to go all the way up to 6 3/4. So if we continue 5 3/4, we get 5 4/4, which would really be 6. Then we've got 6 1/4, 6 2/4, 6 3/4. 6 4/4 is going to give us 7. Were we able to fit it all on there? We were. So now we plot. Starting here, 6, let's plot and cross it out. 6 3/4, plot it, cross it out. 6 1/4, plot it, cross it out. 5 3/4, plot it, cross it out. 5, our shortest bracelet. 6 again. 6 2/4, 6 1/4, 6 again, and then 5 3/4. Looks like 6 is our most common. It's what we see the most. Okay, and that's all you need to do for our guided practice. So looking at our actual lesson, again, this is homework and practice 11.2, making line plots, page 601. You're going to be looking down here for numbers 1 through 4. Okay, you're going to need to read and make sure that you notice what they're saying. When you look here, okay, it says Aiden has 2 toy cars that measure 2 1/4 inch. So that means once you find your 2 1/4, which the only reason why you see multiple fractions here is because these are equivalent fractions. Okay, they show and represent the same parts out of the whole. So if she has 2, you're going to want to make sure you put 2 dots. Then you could, same as we would do if we had a whole list, cross it off like you got that done. 3 that measure 2 3/8. So find your 2 3/8. She had 3 toy cars. So put your 3 dots, cross it out. Continue on just like that. All right. Okay, you can do this on your own. Okay, then you're going to be looking at the longest toy car, which length appears the most often. Are more cars shorter or longer than 2 1/2? All right. Flip this over. I've circled some that I'd like to do with you guys, so we're going to go ahead. We'll go over 5, 6. I'm going to help you get started drawing and help you get started labeling down here. So I'm really helping you, providing you with as much as I can, but if you need more, guys, I'm wanting to help you, so please get on in the afternoons and we'll work through the whole assignment together, okay? Use a vocabulary word to complete the sentence. A blank fraction names the same region, part of a set, or part of a segment. Okay, I'm really not super happy with the vocab word, but just like we saw over there, we had 2 1/4 and 2 2/8. And we might know that these 2 fractions are what type of fractions. We would call these fractions equivalent. Okay? Here for number 6, they don't give you a ton of room, but I'll show you what we're going to do. First off, we need to read. Flood walls are used to prevent damage from floods. A town built a flood wall 4 4/8 feet tall. Another town built a flood wall 7 1/8 feet tall. What is the difference between the heights of the flood walls? What's our math action word? Difference is going to be our math action word. It's going to tell us we need to subtract. So I'm going to go ahead and set my subtraction problem up like this so that I've got plenty of room. 7 1/8. Take away 4 4/8. For some of you, this might be a little tough because this is like going way back. We haven't subtracted mixed numbers like this. But you guys do know how to do this. Okay, what you might notice, okay, good, we've got the same denominators. We know our denominator is going to be 8s. But we've got 1 take away 4. We can't do that. So we have to go next door. When we borrow from our 7 becomes a 6. And we have to add 1 more. But we don't have to actually add just 1 more 8 to 1/8. We have to add 1 whole. So 1 whole is equal to how many 8ths? 8 8ths. So when I say we're adding 1 to 1/8, we're really adding 8 8ths. So if we add 8 8ths to this, all together we get 9 8ths. Okay, 9 8ths take away 4 8ths. 9 take away 4 is 5. 6 take away 4 is 2. So when they ask us what's the difference between the heights of the flood walls, the difference is 2 5/8 feet. You could rewrite that, or I'm okay if you want to leave it sideways. It's not going to bother me. Looking at numbers 7 and 8, they want you to draw your line plots. Okay, I would recommend, I've given you guys a ruler. It's somewhere in your binder in your things that I gave you. So get it out, it's clear, and just draw a straight line. That's going to really help you. I'm going to do 2 straight lines because we're going to be doing 2 line plots here. Line plots have arrows at the ends. And then your next step is to kind of look at, all right, what are we plotting here? Here we've got class members read the following numbers of pages over the weekend. Look at all of your numbers, 9, 11, 7, 10, 9. Looking at all of them, I want you to find the smallest and the largest. Thankfully, they're right next to each other. Your smallest is 2, your largest is 13. So that means we're going to start at 2, and we're going to have to go all the way to 13. So how many lines are we going to have to put in between 2 and 13? If you subtract, it's going to give you the number that we're going to need, which is 11. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You can see mine wasn't perfect, and that's fine. So go ahead, start labeling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. As you can see, here's my 13. So you don't want to have 2 13s. Let's just go ahead. We'll erase our last one. Or maybe yours turned out better than mine. Okay, and we'll do that. All right, so now you're going to want to plot them. So go plot 9, cross it out, plot 11, cross it out, 7, 10, and just keep going and plotting. Okay, they're going to ask you a question, and their question that they're asking you at the end of all of this is what number is an outlier? Explain your reasoning, okay? So after you've plotted those, look for an outlier. Here, it looks like Tony wants to make a line plot of the distances he rode his bike last week. He rode the following distances in miles. Okay, let's look at what the least amount of miles and the greatest amount. Looks like he rode anywhere from 3, which you see 3 twice, to 6. Oh, sorry, you actually see 3 times. So we're going to start with 3 here. We're going by halves. So we're going to want to go 3, 3 1/2, 4, 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 6. Ooh, good, we barely made it. If you needed to extend it, you could, or erase, that's fine. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I just wanted to help you draw it. Then you're gonna plot them, okay? And that is all this one's asking you to do. Looking down at number 9, remember you can always pause and go back if you didn't catch all of it. Caden collects insects. The table below lists the lengths of inches of insects in Caden's collection. So you see a bunch of fractions. Most of them are in denominators, have denominators of 8. Some of them have denominators of 4. What I'm going to recommend is making equivalent fractions so that we know what is equivalent to 2/4 with a denominator of 8. What is equivalent to 3/4 with a denominator of 8? 4 times 2, remember we got to multiply to get there. What we do to the bottom, we do to the top. I'm sorry if that's really small. But again, I'm just multiplying. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 2 is 6. That's an equivalent fraction here. They're equal. 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. I'm creating equivalent fractions. So it looks like we're going to be counting in 8s. I would go ahead, recommend starting at 0, going all the way to 1. 1 is equal to 8/8. Okay, so we start and we're counting by 8s. We've got 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, and 7/8. Okay, now what you're going to realize, you've got equivalent fractions here. Your 2/8 is equivalent to 1/4. Your 4/8 is equivalent to 2/4 or 1/2. Your 6/8 is going to be equivalent to your 3/4. Okay? Go through, plot, and let me know if you've got any questions. Thank you.